So, in thinking about today is Mother's Day, a day we set aside to honor mothers. So I would like to just wish every mother here the respect and honor y'all deserve, because you do. And women who have not been blessed with children, your mothers too, only after the Spirit. There are many women who have not had children. They're kind of spiritual mothers to younger women and do and invest a lot into women, into their husbands. And so sometimes I think that we forget about those women when we're honoring the mothers. I have a friend in her 50s, never been married, has fellowship dinners at her house, helps people in need, kind of a mentor to people. And in a lot of practical ways, she's just as much a mother as if she had given birth. And so I'm going to start talking about moms scripturally. We're going to start with Genesis, because God created man first, and he had a better plan. Because God created man, then God said, oh wait, no, it goes. Here we go. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Oh wait. More specific account. Where was I? Okay, here we go. Here we go. It's Genesis 2:18. And the Lord, and this is after God had set Adam in the garden, created everything, made everything subject to Adam, all creatures subject to Adam. And he looked and he saw, and he said, it is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. I will make us, and we all know the rest of it, how God put Adam to sleep and created woman from his rib. And so, right from the very beginning, it was clear to God that us men were kind of helpless by ourselves. That us men alone, not so much. We wouldn't be happy, we wouldn't be as productive, and sometimes we make jokes about women and our wives, but I think at the end of the day, most husbands really love their wives and can't imagine their lives without them. And the husbands that don't, well, they probably need a smacking. But seriously, God looked and saw that men should not be alone, that they should have a helpmate to walk alongside them. I mean, can you imagine a society where all children were raised by men with no women? It would be nuts. It would be insane. Because God put men and women together to raise families, because men and women have separate strengths. Men and women have different things that they bring to the table. As much as our society is trying to tell us that there's no differences, that you can be whatever you identify as, that men and women are exactly the same. No, we're not. That's why both are needed, because we're not exactly the same. We have different strengths. We have different things that we bring in. And so this is the time we focus on what the woman brings in. What the woman brings in, and how we're to honor our mothers, honor your wives. And this next scripture is in Proverbs. It's 6:20. My son, keep your father's command, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. Bind them to your heart, always to your heart. Fasten them around your neck. When you walk, they will guide you. When you sleep, they will watch over you. And when you awake, they will speak to you. I know the father's command is part of this, but I want to focus on the mother's teaching. I had the pleasure of spending a little time with my mother yesterday afternoon. And I'm from Pennsylvania redneck stock. I mean, my mother grew up in Jill, Pennsylvania, it's a little town, up on the mountain. Her grandfather was the first person to have electricity on, or one of the first to have electricity on the mountain. My grandmother grew up there. I used to spend a lot of time in my summers down in Troy at my grandparents' place. Grandma wasn't really particularly pushy about religion or faith or anything like that. But she's a Baptist. There was a Bible on her table and it was never dusty. A little like coffee table in the living room. There was a Bible there. I really never really saw her read it, but that Bible was never dusty. And it was a used Bible. You know when someone really uses the Bible, you know, and it was. And I think about the strength of my grandmother and the strength of my mother. I think a lot. You know, we can always, if you want to, look at the things Mom could have done, should have done, we think she should have done. That's easy. Unwise, but easy. I remember when I was very young, my mother working. She went and worked in a factory. And to make sure we had what we needed, I have a pretty good work ethic, and I attribute a lot of that to my mother and my grandmother. They were both hardworking women. And so these little things, you know, the little things they would say, and you would, they're still with me today. I still think about some of those things because those instructions, those teachings, you know, Mom never sat me down like it was a classroom, just little things she'd say, and a lot more with what she did. You know, I learned a lot from watching what she did, especially as a little guy. And those things I walk with today. They walk with me today. And like it says here, when you walk, they will guide you. These lessons, these things we learn, are guidances that never leave us. We may choose to ignore them, but they don't leave. You know, they watch over us. I remember, I don't know if any of you have ever done this, but when I grow up, I will never say those things. I will never say that. I will never say those things my parents said. I often open my mouth and watch myself channeling my parents. And to this day, I know that that's because I was taught things. there was wisdom in what my particularly mother taught me. I learned so much. My mom was like simple. She didn't complicate things. And I learned a lot of simplicity from her. Simple isn't always easy. It just means uncomplicated. Sometimes we twist those and think that simple means it should be easy. It just means it's not complicated. A lot of simple things are hard to walk out. And I would like to look at what God says a woman is like. And Proverbs 31, starting at verse 25. She is clothed in strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat bread, the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her words bring her praise at the city gate. And I know I'm looking at a room full of those kind of women right now. I do. She is clothed in strength and dignity. Isn't that pretty amazing? Strength and dignity. That there's a strength and a way that a woman of quality carries herself. She can laugh at the days to come. She doesn't fear the future. She has faith in the Lord. She's a woman of faith. She does not fear the future. She laughs at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom. And I'll bet that every child of every woman sitting in this room would say that about their mother. I wouldn't mind. Because just about all of you, I've heard wisdom out of your mouths myself. So I know that you carry that. You speak with wisdom. The faithful instruction is on your tongue. Faithful instruction. And she watches over the affairs of her household. She tends to her children. Her husband, if he's still there, I know there's some weddings in the house. She watches over those affairs. She does not eat the bread of idleness. Doesn't mean she doesn't sit down and relax. It means she doesn't waste her time on a lot of foolishness, a lot of silly stuff. Less likely to kind of get caught up in gossip and whatnot. And her children call her blessed. Or in this way, blessed. One of the words for blessed is joyful. My mother and I were talking about cooking and baking yesterday. Because I don't really like baking. I like cooking a little better. And they're two different skill sets. Because baking is really science. You have to put this amount and this amount and this amount, because if you skip one of the rising agents, you might have some flat bread or a flat cake. Where if I'm making a stew and I forgot to put something in, I can taste it and say, oh, I forgot the salt. And I can just add it. You don't do that after the baked cake's in the oven. And I baked a few flat cakes in my day because, well, when I was first learning a little baking, I thought, well, this is good. You know, I don't need all that. Yeah, you do. And these are things my mother always cooked. She was a great cook, is a great cook. You know, she, her house always clean. She, you know, and every kid in the neighborhood called my mom. Like all my friends would call her mom, you know, because they all love mom. Mom's funny. Mom's just really got a great sense of humor. And like it says, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. But the woman that fears the Lord is to be praised. A godly woman is something to be praised and to be revered. And we should not only do this to our mothers, our wives, our sisters, the women we know that are friends. This should not only be done every May, but it should be done daily. Our wives should know that we honor them every day and love and care and cherish them. Our mothers should know daily that we love and cherish them, that they're important to us, that we esteem them highly. I know this is not a salvation message, but I'm pretty sure everyone here is saved, so I think I'm going to be good today. But that honor should be a daily thing. We should honor the women in our lives every day, the mothers in our lives, our mother, our children's mothers, other people's kids' mothers should be given a place of honor. A place of honor and respect. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. Now at that time, people would gather at the city gates. And they would talk, and the old men would sit around, and the men would all sit around and talk. It's kind of like, you know, you go to a diner, and there's this table of old guys in every diner that are solving the world's problems. That every diner has this table of these old guys. I'm almost that age. I got to find me a diner that are sitting around and solving the world's problems. Men haven't changed in thousands of years that much. So that her works would be known in her community. That at the gates, in the community, they were talking. So these men, when they're sitting around solving the world's problems, should be always speaking honorable words of their wives. If they have something that's not that to say of their wives, it should be done between them and their wife. They should give their wives honor. Because they deserve it. We're not easy. Us men are not that easy to deal with. Even on a good day. You know, I think sometimes we like to think we are, but we're a handful. I know I am. But that we should make sure that within the community, within our community, that the women are honored, the mothers are honored, that they're esteemed highly, that they're treated like the daughters of Zion that they are. Because they are daughters of King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. They are daughters of the Lord of hosts. And we should esteem them in that way. And Mom, I know you're probably not hearing me, but Mom, thank you. And I thank all the mothers here for all you've done, all you continue to do. It is praiseworthy. You are a gift from God to your families, to your husbands, to your children, to the community that you're in. And I just want to take this time to give you honor and thanks for all you do. Thank you.
Thank you.